Hello friends, my great pleasure to welcome you to my channel, Ezek Graphics and Multimedia. My name is Rafi Yakub right here, and in today's video you are going to learn how to create a stylish business card in Photoshop print ready template without any stress. But before we dive deep into the tutorial, if you are very new to this channel, remember to click on the subscribe, turn on notification bell so each time I post content about Photoshop tutorial, you'll be notified. So with that being said, let's dive into tutorial and see how you can create a stylish business card print ready template in Photoshop. So let's begin. So the first thing you want to do is to make sure you come to the top right here, click on file. So when you click on file, make sure you navigate to new. All right, so the next thing you want to do is to come to the top right here, make sure you title your design stylish business card. Then you come to the width right here, make sure you type in 3.25. Then you come to the height, make sure you type 1.75. Then come to your resolution right here, make sure it's 300. Then right here, make sure inches is selected. Then at the color mode right here, make sure you choose your CMYK color. Finally, come down below right here and click on create. All right, so the next thing we want to do right now is to make sure we set a bleed area, safe zone, and cutout. So for us to do that, the first step we need to take is to make sure we pick our ruler, and we have to pick ruler from the vertical and horizontal. Then we make sure it snaps to page like this. All right, so the next thing you want to do is to go to the home tab right here. Make sure you go to image and then look for canvas size. Then from the point here, make sure you type in 0.25 for the width, and come to the height, 0.25 for the height, and then click on OK. All right, so the next thing you want to do is to make sure you go back to your ruler right here. Make sure you take your ruler, both vertical and horizontal. Then make sure it snaps to the page like this. Okay. The next thing you want to do is to go back to the image and canvas size. Then right here, make sure you type 0.25 for the width and 0.25 for the height, and click on OK. All right, so the next thing we want to do is to start to make our stylish business card. So the first thing we want to do right here is to make sure we come to the layer panel right here. We make sure we click on adjusted layer. Having clicked on adjusted layer, we make sure we select solid color. So right here, I'm going to pick my color right here. So you can see the color code I use for the background. Here is the color code. So what I'm going to do next is to make sure I click on OK. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is to go to my toolbar right here. I'll click and hold down. So I have to choose rectangle 2. Having choose rectangle 2, I'll come to the top right here. I'll make sure my shape is checked, and I can pick color from here to whatever color of your choice. Then once you format the shape, then you have to come to the artwork and draw your rectangle. Having drawn your rectangle, the next thing you want to do is to come to the layer right here. Right click on the rectangle layer, then make sure you look for duplicate layer. So this rectangle can be rectangle 2, okay, and I'm going to click on OK. So this second rectangle, we have to go back to the layer right here again. Then we make sure we double click on the rectangle 1 layer. Then having double click on the rectangle 1 layer, then I will have to change the color to another color of my choice right here. Then I will make sure I tap out with my arrow key. So just bring out the new duplicate layer sided of the original rectangle. So we still need to double click on the layer thumbnail again, and I will have to use a light color so I can see. So you can see right here that we have bring them out with just the power of arrow key. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is that I have to select on this rectangle right here, and I will go to edit, and I will make sure I look for free transform. Then what I'm going to do next is to make sure I just reduce the rectangle size a little bit, and I will come to the top right here and click on this check mark to accept. So next thing I'm going to do is to come to the layer right here. I will make sure the rectangle 1 layer is active. I'll press Ctrl key down and make the rectangle 2 layer active also. So what I'm going to do now is that I have to go to my home tab right here. I will click on edit, then I'll make sure I look for free transform. Now having make it transform, next thing I'm going to do is to just adjust the shape this way. So, and I will have to position it in a proper way. So once you're satisfied with the adjustment, you have to come here and click on this check mark to accept the transform. Next thing I want to do is to make a duplicate of this shape. So I will just right click and I'll make sure I click on duplicate layer. Then I'll click on OK. So once the two duplicate, the two layer has been duplicated, next thing I want to do is to go to the home tab right here. I will just click on edit and I will look for free transform straight up. So having looked for free transform, I will just drag this here. Then I'll press shift key on my keyboard and hotkey and I will drag. This allows me to increase the depth and of this particular shape. So once I'm satisfied with the adjustment, then I'll come to the top here and I'll click on confirm the transform. All right, so next thing I'm going to do is to locate this rectangle 2 and we have to go back to the layer panel. I will press Ctrl key down and make the rectangle 1 layer active. Next thing I'm going to do is to right click again and I will look for duplicate layer. So having looked for duplicate layer, I just click on OK. So right now I need to go back to my home tab right here. I will click on edit and I will look for free transform straight up. And what I'm going to do next is that I need to rotate this. Okay, so we can right click and flip to horizontal at the first stage, and we can press shift key and hotkey on our keyboard to increase the width a little bit of the shape. So this depends on how we want our shape to be bigger. So next thing I'm going to do is to just take it this place, and we still need to rotate this shape. So we can come to the top right here and I will just make a little rotation. So once you're satisfied with the rotation, come to the top right here and click on this check mark to confirm the adjustment. All right, so right now there are things we still need to do on this particular design. So right here we have to make sure I press Ctrl T again to open my transform tool. So this shape right here needs to be this way. Then I'll click on here to accept the confirm transform. Then I have to locate this layer right here. Then what I'm going to do next is to come here, double click on the layer thumbnail. So what I'm going to do is to just change the color for now. Then I will have to locate this layer, which is rectangle 2. Then this is rectangle 2. Then I'll have to come to the rectangle 2 right here and I will drag it over the rectangle 2 copy. So this is going to give me something like this. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is to locate this particular layer right here and I will double click on the layer thumbnail. So for now I need to change the color also. This will allow me to be able to differentiate. I can pick on this type of blue and I'll click on OK. So what I need right now, I need to take this layer over this copy layer. So I have to select copy 2 layer right here and I will go back to the layer panel. I will make sure I drag it all over the copy 2 layer. So I have something like this. So I still need to locate this particular layer here and it has to follow the copy 2 layer. So I will drag and take it to the layer right here. Boom. So we have it this way. So I still need to locate this particular layer. Then I will have to go back to the layer panel. I will make sure I drag everything on top of the copy 2 layer. So we have something like this. So this is exactly what I need to achieve. So at this point now, the next thing for me is to add color and appropriate effect into this particular shape. Okay. All right. So before that, I need to still rotate these 2 shape right here. I'm not comfortable yet, so I have to come to the layer panel. I will make the 2 layer active. Having made the 2 layer active, then I will have to go to the home tab right here. I will click on edit. From edit, I will go to free transform, and right now I will be able to adjust the shape until I'm satisfied with the kind of style I'm getting right now. Okay. Right, so I think I'm cool with this. So what I'm going to do next is to come to the top right here. I'm going to click on this check mark and then accept the transform. All right, so for me to add color and effect to this particular design, so I need to start from here. Okay, and I'll select on this layer. I will have to double click on the layer thumbnail. So I need to look for a kind of a dark gray. So we can pick it from, let me select the background color right here, and I will look for a dark gray right here. So you can see the dark gray. So you can see the color code I use right here, and I will highlight and I will right click on the color. I'll make sure I copy the color code and I'll click on OK. So I need to locate this particular layer. So, and I'll come back to layer panel. I will double click on the layer thumbnail. Then what I'm going to do next is that I'll come down right here. I'll press Ctrl A to highlight, Ctrl V to paste the color code. It's as simple as that. And I'll click on OK. Next, I'm going to locate the third layer, which is this one right here. I'll come to the layer panel. I will double click on the layer thumbnail. So I'm going to come down right here. I'll press Ctrl A to highlight, Ctrl V to paste. So this allows me to paste the color code, and I'm going to click on OK. Then I have to locate this layer right here. Having located this layer, I will right click on it and I'll go to blending options. Then from the point here, I will select drop shadow. So right here, you can see the shadow effect. Distance is 27, spread is 24, size is 50, blend mode is normal, and opacity remain 100%. So you click on OK. Boom. So the next thing we want to do is to add color to this particular shape. I have to select this shape right here, and I will double click on the layer thumbnail. Then I will have to pick my color from the point here. So right here, you can see the color code. I will highlight and I'll right click and copy the color code, and I'll click on OK. So next thing I'm going to do is to locate this particular shape right here. I'll come to the layer thumbnail. I will double click on the layer thumbnail. Then I will have to come here and I will press Ctrl A to highlight and Ctrl V to paste the color code. So we have something like this, and I'll click on OK. I will have to locate this one right here also. I will double click on layer thumbnail, and what I'm going to do next is to come here and I will make sure I highlight and press Ctrl V to paste the color code right now. Okay, then I'm going to click on OK. So next thing I'm going to do is to locate this particular layer and this layer per se, and I will right click on this particular layer right here. I will make sure I go to blending options. Then I will double click on the drop shadow right here to add shadow to that effect. So I will just adjust the shadow this way. So once I'm satisfied with the shadow, I will just come to the top right here and I'll click on OK. Boom. The next thing I'm going to do to this business card is to add text and icon to the business card, and likewise the logo. So let's
never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's facts, taking big swings, put your hand to the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light, ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah, but I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on the shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me